I now go on to introduce Professor Sai Baba, who is the Director, Professional Development Training at the Ramaiah University of Applied Sciences. Prior to that, he held the position of the T.V. Raman Pai Chair Professor at National Institute of Advanced Studies, Bangalore, and worked in the domains of science communication and risk communication, human reliability program, and understanding ancient Indian knowledge systems for application to the holistic development of youth. I can go on and on about him, but I will stop here and I will welcome sir to provide the inaugural address.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Chandra, Prasan India, Dr. Sharath, and Arun and Madhusudan, and my dear students. First of all, thank you for having me here. I wish it was. I was just asking Dr. Sharath if it was an in-person meeting, it would have been nice to get connected. But these are the issues. But the program is envisaged in such a way that you would be spending about 10 to 11 weeks and online, and 1 week of getting connected to the teachers and the students of the program. So maybe it is the reality of the times that we have to accept it. And since most of the students are already working elsewhere, probably this is the ideal. In Bangalore, traveling is such a challenge that that would become very difficult. So I'm happy that we had a 1 week of interactions in person that would actually bring it to the closure of what you learned. I think Mr. Arun has really set the context in terms of importance of these things. And recently I have taken over as this new role and creating a center for professional development and training. And in fact, such programs are important, in the context of professional development. See, there were times when in India, most of the time in India, you study, get into a job, 90% of them don't change their jobs and they continue where they start. I mean, my numbers may be wrong, but I'm sure that, I'm just telling most of us don't change the jobs. So there's sort of Indian psyche. Of course, in the private sector, people do change, but the percentage of changes are less, and more or less they continue to do the job which they started with. But this is going to be challenging in the times which are changing now. The way the technology is emerging, newer dimensions of technology, newer ways of applying these newer developments pose the challenge. Be it manufacturing technology, be it service sector, you cannot be stationary with your skills which you developed, which you acquired while you are in the college or in the university. In that context, certificate programs like this are very essential to upskilling is required. And learning is a continuous process, though in academics we say that when we join a university, your learning continues because you have to do research, do publications, then hone your skills in teaching. It's a continuous process, but the same thing applies to industry. If you go to IT industry, the challenges which you have, how newer technology comes and takes over. I think people can be very challenged. So I think it's very important for us to upskill ourselves on a continuous basis. While upskilling, you should also have a calibration in terms of where you stand, where your skills are, and what are the skills that are required if you want to do well in the job which you have chosen to, or which you are right now in. And that calibration is a very important thing for us. Since most of you are coming from engineering background, you know that the technology and the innovation becomes a challenge. To me, this course is only a platform for you to learn or to identify how you can make an impact in the work which you're doing. As Mr. Arun said, in 3 months, probably you can't master everything. But what is important is that can it create a spark in you to look at what you're doing or what your colleagues are doing in the industry where you're associated and see how you can make an impact. So while listening to the lectures, while going through the course, please ensure this calibration you should do, because Saturday, Sunday, you listen to them, Monday to Friday, you are at work, and start looking at things, whether what has been taught or what has been discussed in this course, how applicable they are. And I'm sure there must be a feedback session. I'm sure we should include this and see what changes we should bring or what type of topics we should bring so that they benefit out of these programs. In fact, the way the education is being imparted, it cannot be left only to academic institutes. We need to bring industry to work, and also institutions like IEEE and other the professional bodies all have to come together so that the student, he's provided the platform to learn and be ready for newer challenges that may come in enhancing the role being played by you. It could be in enhancing the productivity, or it could be in terms of enhancing the profitability, or it could be to get ready for the challenges that the industry may face. So probably I will tell one example of innovation and stop, and I hope I'll get an opportunity to interact with you people when you are here at the university. We talk so much about innovation. I think innovation is not to be read from the books, nor to be learned by listening to people. Like, innovation is something which you need to apply by looking at where you are. I recall an example which I read in a 12th standard book on strategic management. It's an example where a set of people go and collect the waste from each house. And the method was that the truck will stop, the employee will go inside to the house, pick up the bin in which the waste is put, he brings to the truck up and empties it and puts back to it. While this is going on, it looks like a very simple job, but it's going on. This young boy who was working there suddenly realized that he can reduce his job by half if he can have one additional bin to be available. So what is proposed is that the truck will stop, you take an empty can, goes there and brings the filled one here. By that process, he reduced his job by almost 50%, enhance the productivity. This is what I'm calling as getting involved in the job which you have to do. And this is the innovation which you can do. I'm sure that such innovations can be extended to many things, many big things which we do. So I only can say to you that please keep track of newer developments that are happening, how it will impact the industry in which you are working, and if you have to take advantage of these developments, what skills you have to acquire. And I'm sure that all of you will use this program to the benefit of you. I'm sure it will help you to enhance your role and your profile in the industry and otherwise. And the only thing, my request to all of you is that the online learning has a challenge. You can do many things at the same time. You know, this unfortunately, they provided this mute mode and people can get distracted, and the families are not ready to accept that you are doing a serious job when you're online. So please put best efforts, pay attention to these 2 hours or whatever when you allotted, having chosen to do this course, give your best and do well. And my best wishes for all of you for the success. And I also compliment FMC for taking the lead. And as Arun said, this is one of the unique things which IEEE is doing. I'm happy that it is starting with Ramaya. And so let me, with my best wishes to all involved and for the success. And I thank you again for the time and for patient hearing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.